everybody. Welcome to Around the Major League Soccer with Sam right here on Africa Sports Network. Today is week 11. We have a lot of mouth-watering fixtures scattered all over match venues in the Major League Soccer. Week 10 produced surprise. Just wait and see what week 11 will give us. Something special, because we have some key games coming on. Sporting Kansas City will be on the road away at LA Galaxy, while New England Revolution will be also away at Columbus Crew. New England Revs are leading Eastern Conference on 23 points, I beg your pardon, in the Eastern Conference, and they will be away to Columbus Crew, who are 5th in the Eastern Conference, while in the West, Houston Dynamo will be at home to welcome FC Cincinnati, who have won 2 games back-to-back of recent, and Yapstam seem to have turned around on the team a little bit after the struggle earlier in the season. So we have a lot of them coming up. DC United up against Atlanta United, Toronto FC also have their own game to play. CF Montreal against Inter Miami. Inter Miami are so bad that every game is a test for them to see how bad they are getting, or are they stabilizing, or are they getting any better. So we have a lot to talk about on this edition of Around the MLS with Sam on Africa Sports Network. We are streaming live on Facebook, and also we are recording the program for us to post later on our YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Africa Sports Network, Africa with a K and Sports with a Z Network, and for you to help us grow this movement. All right, we have also a little bit of interview from coach of Houston Dynamo, Tab Ramos, as he speaks about the game they have today against FC Cincinnati. So these are minimal. Will come your way on today's edition of Around the MLS with Sam here on Africa Sports Network. I'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back to the program. This is Around the Major League Soccer today, being the 3rd day of July 2021, and it is Independence Day here in the US, July 4th, tomorrow, Sunday. A lot of barbecue, a lot of fun, because it is Independence Day, and a lot of fireworks will be going off in some strategic places around the continental United States of America. So I would say happy Independence Day, America, as they celebrate their independence. So today, let's go to Around the Major League Soccer with Sam here on Africa Sports Network. If you think week 10 was a surprise, just watch and see what week 11 will give us. Dynamo improved their road record to 3 draws. Yes, 3 draws, and they got a 1-1 draw against Real Salt Lake in their week 10 match. Maximiliano Urruti got his 6th goal of the season when he slotted in that equalizer for Houston Dynamo. So he is red hot, and the good thing about this is that even though other teams are losing players to the CONCACAF Gold Cup national team assignment. Max Urruti, 6 goals of the season. He ain't going nowhere. He's an Argentine. He wasn't choosing for the Copa America, so Houston Dynamo hang on to worry. And also, Fafa Picard ain't going nowhere. He wasn't chosen by Craig Berhatha for US men national team, so he'll be available for selection. Players like Bonnie Garcia will be away from Houston Dynamo to Honduras. Players like Darwin Seren will also go to El Salvador to play for them in the Gold Cup here in CONCACAF. So this time around, a lot of teams will lose quality players, but it will also give room to those fringe players for them to, show what they can do when the big dogs are not around. This is MLS on Africa Sports Network, around the league on Africa Sports Network. All right, let's go to the game between Orlando City Football Club and New York Red Bulls. That game will kick off today at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And it seems Orlando City FC are not short of firepower. When Nani was out due to suspension, Tesho Akindele took over the goal scoring responsibilities, and he got 3 goals for Orlando City Football Club until Nani came back. Sure, Nani is pushing, as a candidate for MVP consideration. Looking at, he has 6 goals already this season for Orlando City Football Club. Nani is 6 goals in 8 games for Orlando City Football Club. So they will be hosting New York Red Bulls, who were beaten by New England Revolution in week 10. They beat them 3 goals to 2. Yes, they were on the road to New England Revs. So let's go to Chicago Fire, the land of the Lincolns, the game between Chicago Fire and Atlanta United. Listen, Chicago Fire, just the way their name sound, the fire alarm is ringing. I mean, what I mean is ringing is this: the team is the worst in the MLS. Just 1 win in 10 games. Can you believe that? And despite the fact that they changed, they branded their crest, got few players here and there, the team is the poorest in the Eastern Conference. Joseph Martinez is back for Atlanta United, and that make their attack a potent one tonight against the Chicago Fire. And also, you have a chance to watch Miles Robinson, who will be playing for the US men national team at the CONCACAF Gold Cup that will start later this month. Meanwhile, like I told you, in Chicago Fire, just 1 win in 10 games with a negative of 10 goal differential. I hope you're getting that. Worst in the league. This season has slipped away from them. Not it is slipping away. Unless miracle happens, Chicago Fire is having a horrible season. But last week they pulled off a 3-3 home draw against Philadelphia Union. So they were built on that positive result when they host Atlanta United tonight at Soldier Field. So Chicago Fire parade a Nigerian player called Chinomso Ofo, who plays for Chicago Fire. So he's yet to score his MLS goal. Yes, started few games here and there coming from the bench, but his team is having a very, very horrible time right now. Let's leave Chicago. Let's go to the game between Minnesota United and San Jose Earthquake. That game will kick off at 8 p.m. Eastern, and Nashville and Philly Union, that game will also kick off today at 8 p.m. Eastern. So my question is this to Nashville fans: do you think Nashville is a borderline playoff team? Keep thinking about that. I'll be right back after this timeout. right, welcome back to the program. This is Around the MLS here on Africa Sports Network with Sam as I take you on a journey ride around the world of the MLS. Today, game week 11. New England Revs are still top of the Eastern Conference, while Seattle Sounders are still top of the Western Conference. Even though, yes, they drop points during week 9 and week 10, but they are still holding tight to that summit. All right, let's go to the game between Houston Dynamo and FC Cincinnati. That game will be here at the BBVA Stadium, and you know what? Coach of Houston Dynamo, I'm talking about Ramos, really believe and he is adamant that his team can pick 3 points, even though he paid respect to FC Cincy, their recent and back-to-back win at Toronto FC, which yes is a good thing, but Dynamo have a formidable home record that they are yet to lose at home this season. The only result the team got here was a 2-2 draw Portland Timbers and a 1-1 draw LAFC. So those are the two results that they've dropped point, but nevertheless Dynamo are still vulnerable. Looking at the way they play, sometimes they don't hold the ball, but the key to Dynamo, you know, breaking FC Cincy is this man right here. Maximiliano Urruti. 6 goals in the last 8 games for Houston Dynamo. 6 goals in the last 8 games for Houston Dynamo. Like I told you, he's from Argentina, but he is not on an international assignment, so Dynamo will have a luxury of having their top scorer available when other teams are having their players on international assignment for the Gold Cup. But Maxi Urruti will still be available for Dynamo selection this time around. So let's listen to what Ramos got to say as regard the game today.
Tab back at home, full week this time, looking at Cincinnati now. What do you expect from them, a team, our first Eastern Conference opponent here of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting a Cincinnati team kind of like at the wrong time for us, because there's a team that's they've been doing well on the road. They just won 2 games in a row on the road. I think they won the last 3 in a row actually on the road, and and in their last game against Toronto, they outshot Toronto 10-3. And, it's a good team. They have good players everywhere. It's not just Brenner up top or Barreal on the right side, Acosta coming from behind. Kubo does a great job in midfield. I mean, they have a pretty complete team. I like how they play, and they're an exciting team. They get you on the counter. They're very dangerous.
All right, we'll go with Corey Wilkin next. Go ahead, Corey.
Hey, Coach. Thoughts on possibly playing in front of full capacity in a home game?
That would be awesome. Really excited about it. I'm sure our players will be as well. I think it's been a while since we've played in front of a big crowd at home, and because I think our last game was a midweek game, which makes it a little more difficult. But yeah, really happy. Should be an exciting game. I feel like we're in a good moment. Cincinnati's in a good moment, and it should be a great matchup.
I want to ask about Sam is it Junkwa? How do you pronounce it? Junkwa. Sorry. Okay. He obviously had the concussion right at the end of preseason. Was your plan to have him slotted in next to Tim at center back without the concussion?
To begin the season, yes, because we didn't know what our plan was going to be in that center back spot. Obviously, we brought Miner back, and Miner's an important player for us, but we also knew that Miner wouldn't be able to play every game. And so since we, at the time, were not sure, obviously, as you know now, as new ownership and all that, there was a lot going on in the behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And so we knew that it was unlikely we'd be able to move. And so, yes, Sam was going to be sort of, playing with getting minutes with Miner in that position.
So how have you seen him deal with that, trying to come back after that setback? And there was another injury in there too, right? Not just the concussion.
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly the concussion. That's really what kept him out. Because he kept, I think he kept getting headaches afterwards. So it was us trying to figure out what the headaches were about and consulting with the proper medical people. Concussions can be difficult to diagnose. There's the initial concussion, and then there's a number of steps that you have to take. And he kept getting some setbacks. So there was a lot for us to figure out, but it was mostly concussion. That he was out with, and unfortunately it took him back. Sam, at the end of the day, is an outside back that we converted into that position just because we needed that. As you know, we even played Boney in that position, so we've tried all we could. So yeah, I mean, he's mostly a left back, and his injury was mostly a concussion. So he's doing really well now.
So knowing that he went through that, what's it like for you to actually be able to write his name into the starting lineup, or at least in the 18 now?
Yeah, I'm really happy about it because Sam he's a tough player, and he's a good player, and he's a lefty. And I think he's a young player that needs an opportunity to develop. And that's what we were doing through the whole preseason. And we felt like we were at a really good spot with him in order, for him to give us minutes with Minor. But then, the setback, he was out a good month and a half, and that was tough. So now he's getting back. Not that he's not going to make mistakes, but I think he's proven so far he's done a good job. He went up against Vela, a couple of weeks ago and did a great job. And he went up this last game in Salt Lake City and did a great job. So we're going to keep throwing him in there from time to time.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. Anything else in English before we switch over to Spanish? Waldo, go ahead.
¿Qué tal, Tab? Saludos.
All right, welcome back to MLS around the league here on Africa Sports Network. My name is Sam, still taking you on a journey ride around the world of the Major League Soccer. All right, let's go to the game between CF Montreal and Inter Miami. Inter Miami, they are bad right now. Looking at where they sit in the Eastern Conference, 12th, 8 points from 10 games. And the funniest thing is that Gonzalo Higuain, who is their top scorer this season, he has scored 5 goals in 8 games, and he is top 8 in the scorers chart. But the team is so bad that every game is a test to see how worse they are getting, or are they improving, or are they stabilizing. Alright, this is still around the Major League Soccer right here on Africa Sports Network. My name is Sam. You already know what time it is. Catch me Mondays and Saturdays on elegbetetv.com/radio as I bring to you MLS as I see another program that that we use to expose or to bring MLS to Nigerian audience. All right, then let's go to the game between Colorado Rapies and Seattle Sounders. All right, Seattle Sounders drew 2-2 against Vancouver Whitecaps week 10. So this is a tricky tie for Seattle Sounders. They are unbeaten, so they are staking their unbeaten run at the Rockies of Colorado against the Rapids. The Rapids are an unknown quantity. They can be good. Remember, they beat Houston Dynamo 3-1. Are they still that young team that people knows them for? I don't know. Sometimes they can be a little bit soft, but Seattle with Rapies, who is on 8 goals already this season, has a way of unlocking every defense. So let's see how you can unlock the defense line of Colorado Rapids. Alright, like I told you about the game for Houston Dynamo and FC Cincy, they're going to miss 5 players. 5 players of Dynamo will not be available for selection after tonight's game, but 1 player have already joined his national team. Ariel Laceta has joined in Costa Rica. Tyler Pasha called up for the first time by Canada, while Bonnie Garcia will join Honduras. Bonnie Garcia will join Honduras. Darwin Sterling will join El Salvador, while Minor Figueroa will join also Honduras. So Dynamo will miss 5 key players after tonight's game, but they will have the service of Sam Jonkwa, Mateo Behomich, and Alejandro Fumeyo, who were not called up by any national team. And also all the fringe players that cannot play when the big dogs are in the yard will not have a chance, at least to help the team before the big dogs arrive. For Cincinnati, they are on a very good run of form. I don't know what Yavstam have did, but I don't know what he has done. I beg your pardon, but he has done a tremendous job at FC Cincinnati mid-season to turn them around. All their 3 wins has been on the road, so Dynamo have to be very careful on how they confront FC Cincy, and this is the first time they are playing at the BBVA Stadium. So we have a lot coming your way on today's edition of Around the League, Around the MLS, right here on Africa Sports Network. My name is Sam. You already know what time it is. Listen, y'all. Our own Michelle Alozie was given a national team player replacement contract. Yes, she made her debut last night against OL Reign in the National Women's Soccer League, and Houston Dash beat them by 2-0. When she came on, I was so excited. Looking at her performance against Jamaica, against Portugal, and against Team USA here at the Women's National Team Summer Series. Even though the Falcons didn't win a game, they drew against Portugal, lost to USA, and lost to Jamaica. So 2 losses and 1 draw. What's their record here at the Summer Series? But she stood out, and her coach, James Clarkson, is all praises for this young lady. Okay, I think we are over 25 minutes gone in this broadcast, and I think right here we come to the end of today's edition of Around the Major League Soccer, with today's game coming up. Columbus Crew will welcome New England Revolution in an All-Eastern Conference showdown, while tomorrow in All Western Conference tug of war will have Sporting Kansas City will be away on the road to LA Galaxy. These and many more will come your way when you tune into all the stations that will broadcast all this game. Houston Dynamo against FC Cincy will kick off 7:30 p.m. See you there.